Hello, welcome back to Learn Oikonomia. Today we are going to discuss the advantages of the laissez-faire policy. What are the main aspects related to laissez-faire regime and why it is considered as important in some point of time and why we consider it as not important and is problematic. Let's have a look into these here. First of all, I'll tell you what is laissez-faire system. It is actually an economic system where the transaction between private groups are free from any form of economic intervention. So the laissez-faire system is something that was given emphasized by the classical economists. The classical economists like Smith was giving emphasis to laissez-faire policy. I'll tell you the exact idea of laissez-faire system. So this argues for a near complete separation of government from the economic sector, or else we could see that non-intervention by the government. This is not something that promotes government intervention, but instead it acts as a barrier in front of government intervention. It says no to government intervention. If at all government exists in an economy, let it be there, but let it be something focused on maintaining land order. The government should not intervene in the market activity. And what would happen in the case of market activities? The free market economy would be there. So that means the demand and supply. These two forces, which we call as market forces, will take care of everything. So the demand and supply will take care of any disequilibrium aspects in the economy. The need for government is not required, and that is what the laissez-faire approach tells us. But later on we could see that even though classical economists followed the idea of laissez-faire economy, during 1930s, there was something that happened in the name of the Great Depression. And the classical economists these economists were not able to offer any solutions to the Great Depression. There comes the role of Keynes. Keynes told that during the period of depression, during the times of depression, people would become very much pessimistic. So here their marginal efficiency of capital would be very less. Their thinking, their feeling, everything would be having some elements of pessimism. So here needs to have a government. And it should be the government that should revive the economy by taking some fiscal policies, which Keynes calls the fiscal stimulus packages. So here Keynes was considering government to increase its spending to revive the economy out of the trouble. So this is what Keynes considered as something as a result of multiplier effect will lead to increase in income. So that is something separate. And what I was intending to tell you right now is that the laissez-faire economy has got some positive side and negative side. Even though this video is basically focusing on the advantages of the laissez-faire regime, don't ever think that it is only full of advantages. It has got several limitations. By telling that, today's video's topic is advantages of laissez-faire, and let's go to that. So, coming specifically to the advantages part of laissez-faire economy, the classical economist was always focusing on the idea of invisible hand. It was Smith usually who believed in the idea of laissez-faire and the idea of invisible hand. Smith believes that if everyone goes for their own self-interest, if everyone takes care of his or her own self-interest, the interest of the economy will be attained. This could be attained. So there will be some mechanisms through which some beneficial social and economic outcomes will arise as a result of people pursuing their own self-interest. people would be taking some actions, some behavior would be there as far as people are concerned in order to pursue their self-interest. So at last what happens is that these actions will lead to the interest of the economy. Now, here comes the role of the research and development. And when we consider the case with research and development, we have to understand that research and development also has to deal with reduction in the cost. Because when there is research and development, this will lead to more inventions, more innovations, etc. would be there. And this will make people to go for increased efficiency. And when efficiency increases, the other side tells us a reduction of cost part. So the entrepreneurs will be dealing with meeting the customers' needs through more and more innovative practices, innovative techniques. This will definitely encourage competition in the market, and this will increase the efficiency. And that was a part of a free and fair economy, or you could see that a free market or a laissez-faire economy. Moving to the next aspect, when there is no government intervention, there would be a reduction of red tape, because you could see that the levels of bureaucracy is nil, almost nil or very little here. And for the very same reason, the cost will be coming down, especially with respect to administrative cost. You can market goods, there won't be tax, there won't be subsidy. So these things will also be not there, and customers can benefit by spending to access more innovative products. So definitely if there is less subsidies, that is a problem, but that is negligible. That is what the classical school of thought believed in. Now, we are talking about self-interest, and for the very same reason, self-regulation, because there is no government to regulate. It is all done by the market forces of demand and supply. Supply and demand principle, which we call as market forces, will govern everything. So, if somebody is not meeting the ethical standards that consumers have for their transaction, then what happens here is that there can be a choice to avoid such things. So, everybody acts as rational economic agents. People are rational, and this is what classical economists thought. And self-regulation ruled the world when there is laissez-faire policy or rigid. As I was telling you earlier, this would enhance efficiency and improve efficiency, because we are all dealing with demand and supply. And how can we have equilibrium? Equilibrium is attained when the demand is equal to supply, and this is maximizing the profit, and that is what the classical school also believed in, and this will give benefit to both the consumers as well as producers. And as per classical economists, this will be enhancing and improving productivity and efficiency. Again, that is an important advantage of laissez-faire policy. Now, classical economists always believe that whenever you have a laissez-faire policy without government intervention, or it's a regime without government intervention, this will help in the optimal allocation of resources, because we are dealing with efficiency situation. So, when it comes to the distribution of resources, this would be efficiently distributed. When it comes to allocation, that too will be done efficiently, effectively also. So, here we are dealing with consumers who are willing to pay for a certain product. Producers also will be willing to pay for certain raw materials. And this will encourage the market to become much more efficient. Why? Because there is a reduced price of the product, reduced cost. So all this reduced price will encourage consumers to purchase more products. Reduced cost means producers will get some incentive to purchase more raw materials, more factors to produce more commodities. Now, comes the case of consumer sovereignty. The consumer is free. The consumer has got some freedom. The producer has got some freedom. So what the producer basically do in a free market economy or a laissez-faire economy is that producers would get some incentive to produce some particular goods, what the consumers really want. So this would be done at a reasonable price, and also consumers feel that the price at which the product is sold in the market is something which is affordable to them. And definitely the market that we could have is something closer to a perfect competition, and for the very same reason you can have more choice for the consumers. That is all regarding the advantages part of laissez-faire regime. I hope you could understand the session. I request you to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos. You can join our free Telegram community by clicking onto the link given in the description box. Also, you can download the Oikonomia app, for which I'll be providing the link in the description box. That's it. Thank you for watching.